Would you abort your child it was going to be born with severe disabilities? Why or why not? Yup. I had a child with severe disabilities. And watched her suffer for months before she finally died. I would not wish that on any child. Severe? Yes. I watched my nephew suffer for 8 years. He was okay. As in content. For the first few years he loved lights and colors. And because he couldn't walk, he was obsessed with feet. He would roll on the floor. And my dad lowered his fish tank for him, it was his favorite. And we all wore funny socks and slippers, and oh my god. His laughter when my sister would wear these slippers of reindeers with bells on them. It was a musical laugh. Very happy. He had a feeding tube. And loved cuddles. Sweet baby. But always a baby. Even at 50 pounds. Very hard on my sister. BC his dad left as soon as my nephew was diagnosed. 3 months. But as my nephew's illness progressed, so did his pain. By the end, he was in pain 24/7. He was a child. Really. A baby. BC even though he was 8. He didn't have an 8-year-old's mental capacity. And all he knew was pain. I couldn't do that to a person if I could prevent it. My sister had no idea he was disabled when she was pregnant. By the way, I don't know what she would have done if she had known. But she didn't. All tests were normal. He died at home. He had seizure after seizure. And eventually either he stopped breathing or his heart stopped. They don't know which happened first. My sister has, obviously, never been the same. Also, my other nephew also had PTSD from seeing his brother so sick. It's so hard on everyone. I could not do it. My wife did. The fetus tested positive for Edwards syndrome. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Edwards_syndrome. Just given those test results, the chance of a live birth dropped to 5%, assuming the baby was born. The median life expectancy was measured in days. Likely disabilities include kidney malformations, structural heart defects at birth, intestines protruding outside the body, esophageal atresia, intellectual disability, developmental delays, growth deficiency, feeding difficulties, breathing difficulties, and arthrogryposis. Skimming Wikipedia. Apparently results have got better since we dealt with this. But still nothing like good quality of life. So she had the abortion. It was a relatively easy decision as these things go. That was her first pregnancy. The second one was healthy. Our daughter is in school at the moment. She's tiring and often annoying. But in age-appropriate ways. If my wife didn't have the abortion, we probably wouldn't have had her. We might not have been able to. The first pregnancy could have caused health problems. And we might not have wanted to, given the expense and trauma we would have gone through. When abortion bans are in the news, I often think, if that had been the law for us, our daughter wouldn't be alive. Yes, absolutely. I worked in a pediatric ICU for 4 years and medicine has gotten too good at keeping people alive. Kids would sit for months and months connected to CRRT, dialysis, and ECMO, heart, lung machine, literally wasting away before ultimately dying. And when they die, they don't resemble anything like a kid. They look like puffy little aliens who sometimes have lost the perfusion to their hands and feet, so now they're dead and black. It's horrific, and I can't imagine putting a child through that. I also cannot imagine spending my days sitting in a hospital room watching that happen to my child. I remember hearing about a study about this exact same thing. Unsurprisingly, most parents would rather choose abortion if they knew their kid would end up with a disability. Edit. Thanks for the silver and up votes. I'd like to make something known. When I mentioned disability from a study I heard a while ago, it was something more to do with severe disabilities. I used the general meaning of the word disability because I don't remember the exact study nor the disabilities stated in such study. thus the generalization. Although I still felt the need to use the word disability in case mild or medium disabilities were included in that study regardless. As far as I remember, to the best of my memory, I believe Down syndrome was included in it. My greatest fear is that my wife and I would have a child with my genetics. I have epidermolysis bullosa simplex. Basically a protein deficiency that causes the layers of skin to not stick together. So my skin cracks, blisters and peels constantly. More severe cases cause the skin to peel off like taking off a glove. I don't know that I would ever want to put that on my child. To have to live with constant hospitalizations and infection. Likely to live a very short life. I was lucky. If it was determined that my child would end up with a severe case, I wouldn't want them to suffer. Edit. Wow, didn't think that many people cared about a condition like this. For those saying adopt, I cannot reply to all of you, but it is always on the table when we discuss children. IVF is also on the table, especially with some of the advances in modern medicine for early detection. Finally, for me, my case largely revolves around my hands, feet and legs, though I could certainly see it being a problem in more sensitive areas for others. What is a unspoken, universal rule all males know? When you reach a certain age, you must groan when either sitting or standing up, even if there is absolutely no pain whatsoever. The WIDE step. Y'all know. One shall slap the bag of soil in the garden center when passing by. Protect your junk at all costs. There's a reason why cowboys wear jeans in the desert. Always bring the groceries into the house in one trip. There are no exceptions. If anything is floating in the toilet when you pee, it instantly becomes a target. What pre-1990 film do you consider perfect? I thoroughly enjoyed Coming to America. IDK if that makes it perfect, but I don't remember a scene that wasn't comedic gold. Young Frankenstein never gets old. Despite knowing the script inside out, there are still bits that crack me up. The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. 12 Angry Men, 1957. *The Terminator. Subscribe, my brothers.